in every workshop that I've ever done, I tend to write a loose outline, and then sometimes we follow the outline and sometimes we don't, depending on what people show up with.
Yeah.
But I envision us doing some movement practices where we can start to find how we would move if nobody was telling us how we should move.
Right.
And then also some releasing practices that we're already doing.
Yeah.
Adding the movement into it. So, one of the ones that I tend to do a lot for myself and my clients is to find that place of how the body moves in response to a certain outside stimulus. And often that movement may be a contraction. We may want to pull in. So as, in a release, we might just do, could you allow yourself to feel, as contracted as you do? Can you allow yourself to feel as expanded as you do? And to that, we would simply add the movement. So feel the contraction and feel the expansion. And feel the contraction and feel the expansion. And so just adding that little bit of movement takes the release into the body and makes it more powerful.
Even now, just doing that, I can feel it. There's a real subtle shift, a real shift in awareness.
Right.
An opening.
So again, it becomes, how can the body help me? How can the body support me in living my best life?
So we've been talking about movement, but what if there are people that are really not comfortable in their bodies, or maybe very self-conscious?
Yes, absolutely. And actually, that's where, I would love to see some of those folks show up, because learning how to be comfortable in the body is actually a practice, And, if you just show up in a dance class and, you're not comfortable in your body or you're self-conscious about the way you move, that's not going to help. In order to, start to move through a pattern, what we want to do is find the edge. So let's just say the self-consciousness is around opening the mouth. And in fact, that's a good one. That's a good example, because a lot of us tend to hold the mouth closed as we go through the world. And there are only certain things we can say. There's only certain things, ways we can look. In fact, when we pass people on the street, we tend to do this little smile, half smile. And so finding even the edge of that movement is a practice. So, let's just open the mouth for a second. And another second. Okay, good. So we can do that. We can find that where it feels like, okay, I can tolerate that. So with movement practices, as well as with so many other practices, what you want to do is find the edge of where it is right now and where you can push it ever so subtly. And this is a therapeutic practice that I use as well. It's like when I am working with a client that is definitely stuck in a pattern that doesn't serve, rather than asking them to throw that pattern away and do something completely different, I ask them, what can you do? Where can you go with this? What's the next baby step? Because if you take too big a step, it's going to boomerang back. So with movement, with being self-conscious in the body, so let's just see what's the next small movement that feels okay. Where can we just push the edge?
So it sounds very much like we're helping people find these sort of unconscious limits and then just gently inviting them to break them.
Exactly. Well said. Well said. And gently is such a key word for me in all of my practices. And as we learn to be gentle with ourselves, we can allow what is to emerge without the judgments. without the self-imposed, it should be this way, you should do it that way, what's wrong with you for doing it like that? And, that's one of the areas that I love about playing, because as we start getting fully engaged in play, the judgments tend to just, be unimportant. So, that's one of the pieces where, the play will actually support all the processes here.
Yeah.
So, when this work starts to happen, I suspect that we will be laughing a lot. And that laughter in and of itself is such a natural dissipator.
Yeah.
It helps things to move and dissolve.
That's wonderful. So, and it's so interesting because several times when you've talked about some of the limitations that we hold in us, the word should comes up.
Yes.
And so this is so linked to this judgment. I mean, this is a key area of limitation that most of us carry.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It probably keeps us more caught than anything else. And, that's where one of the beauties of the releasing is. As you start to recognize you can judge it on both sides, it gets a whole lot easier to let go in that realm. So.
Definitely. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us. And I am so excited about this course.
Oh,
me and other people here, we're ready to take releasing to a very different level and get out of our minds.
Yes, let's all get out of our minds.
So we're really excited. Again, it's the weekend of the 17th, 18th, 19th September, starting Friday evening at 6:30 till 9:30. Then all day Saturday, all day Sunday, 9:30 to 5:30, I believe it is. And we welcome you to Bergen. We're very, very excited. So thank you for arranging this. Very exciting.
Yeah, thanks for having me. See you soon.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.